Hey folks, Glenn May here with BassResource.com, and I'm here with Hank Parker with another edition of Hank Parker's Fishing Tips. Hank, this week's question, it comes from Paul from St. Louis, and he wants to know, how often should you replace the line on your reel? And he also wants to know, will oil, bug spray, sunscreen, that sort of thing, will that damage your line?
Good question, and yes, oil, sunscreen, those sorts of things will damage your line. Let me tell you about line. A couple of years ago, I was working with Berkeley, and I had a guy, a sporting goods store, that I was working in, and I started testing all his line. I had a little machine called R1D1, and his line was breaking like it. A 10-pound line was breaking like at 6 pound. It should have went to 12-pound dry, so about half the strength. Well, he was storing his monofilament line above his plastic worms, and all the fumes from those worms were entering that line. They were absorbing it, and it was making them weak. So anytime you store your line, put them in a cooler, or a Plano makes these really cool boxes, storage boxes, and they've got a little rubber seal around them so it seals it up. I always store my line there, and that is important. When you've got them on your reels, how often do you change depends on how much you've exposed them to sunlight and how many chemicals they've been around. It does make a difference. And monofilament probably more so than fluorocarbon. Fluorocarbon's really dense. It doesn't absorb like monofilament does, so it's probably going to last a little bit longer. Nanofill lasts for like ever. Berkeley braid or other braids, man, they last like forever. So you don't have to change braided line near as often, but monofilament, keep a close eye on it and test it. Always test it, and test it with a lure tied to it. Get you a plastic worm, a pair of needle nose, hold that hook, test that knot strength, because that's where it gets the weakest and shows up first. So don't just pull on the line to test it. Pull on the line once it's tied to a hook and use a pair of needle nose to hold it to make sure you still got good knot strength. And then I let that dictate when I change it.
Paul, thanks so much for the question. For more tips and tricks, head on over to hankparker.com, where there's a whole bunch of tips and tricks and articles and videos on there for you to check out. And if you want to get notified of any more of the tips that we post from Hank, just subscribe to our channel. Thanks a lot, and have a great day.